Good morning. Sawadee-ka. I accidentally turned this on a little bit earlier, and maybe you heard me whispering. So, exciting morning for me. It was the first time coming to this event. Actually, we were part of a media partnership for last year, and we weren't able to make it, so it's nice to be able to join finally. I'd like to start to invite my panelists up. The beautiful, handsome men who are now going to be window dressing, starting with Mr. Alexis. He says he's...
Hello, everybody. Hi. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hi.
I know it's getting to be lunchtime. Got to keep up the energy, right, before we all fade away. And next is Mr. Felix. Let's give him some love. And next, Kun Topp ka. Turn ka. And Mr. Kishore, just in the nick of time.
Thank you. Morning, everyone.
So Felix was telling me, he says, oh, everybody knows everybody here. It's like Christmas. It's homecoming.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you all. So I started to formulate something to do some questioning, but I think you guys prefer to do it free flow, so that's all good. So I pulled out an article to get us started about payment innovation of the future. So because this panel discussion is about new trends, payment innovation, cryptos for affiliates, contract for differences, CFD, as well as online marketing, I want to share just like a little excerpt from the article here. Basically, it's saying payment is payment. So what is payment? You know, how are we going to overcome the hurdles of the different pain points in payments, right? So if you're a supermarket, you want to enable your customer to avoid the biggest annoyance, which is waiting in line. Payment can't be the weak link in this. If an autonomous vehicle are going to become the norm, the process of refueling and recharging them can't be a pain point. If wearable technology is to become more compact, sophisticated, payment tech has to do likewise. If it's easier and safer and more convenient to pay with biometric features such as fingerprint, voice, and face, reminds me of, what's that show on Netflix? Dark Mirror, Black Mirror? Why should we need to have a physical device with us of the future at all? So, gentlemen, what are the new trends that you foresee coming up in 2020 for payment? Any takers?
Okay, not that I have much of a take on this, but let's say that, of course, new currency are coming abundant in the market. And, every currency have a very particular purpose to pay for one particular thing. Right. So what would be the future of payment? Well, I think it would be quite interesting to see that we can actually pay for stuff with these currencies. Okay, so I don't see how cryptocurrency right now is really, helping to, go past to these friction points. Because as I said, particular cryptocurrencies to pay for particular things that we don't particularly need. All right. So, for instance, of course, if you take the main cryptos such as Bitcoin, for instance, well, yeah, that would be ideal. If everybody would want to use this, but it's very difficult to put Bitcoin in everybody's pocket. So, what would be the new trend? Well, the new trend is to federate all these cryptos under one particular, unifying crypto where you can actually buy things. Okay, not only services but actually goods. Now, I think the real pain point, it is not the payment itself. The very pain point is that we actually want to buy things that we don't really need. Okay, so this is quite of a friction right there. Okay, I think our addiction to shopping is what really make the friction right here. Now, the future of crypto, it will all lies in how much stuff we can build that people can actually use. Right, so right now it's all very, very abstract. All right, so until we don't go down to developing solutions that are concrete, well, right now crypto are not much good other than passing on value and trading. So unfortunately, right now I don't have much of a take on what will be the future of payments.
Thanks, Alexis. My experience has been primarily from the Forex industry, and the Forex industry, as we know, is very popular with affiliate marketing. And back in those days, we used to get, or we used to pay in Fiat. In the recent few years, things have changed a lot, and we've started to see Bitcoin as the mode of payment, and in the last 6 months, USDT. So it's become more easier for companies because a lot of regulators have been clamping down if you don't have the licenses. So the easier way out, even banks, if you do too many payouts, they start to question. So a lot of companies have moved over to cryptocurrencies. Even affiliates, they love it because they don't have the hassle for them, I guess, from a tax point. So we have seen a shift in the last couple of years from fiat to cryptos.
I mean, the good thing, payments is everywhere. The bad thing is payment is ridiculously boring. So actually, nobody wants to spend time waiting for a payment or like even have any friction in payments, right? This is why, I mean, we see more and more easy solutions popping up. When I go around here in Bangkok, every shop will have like 50 QR code stickers on the door, and I can actually quite easily do a payment, right? Now we see like shops like Amazon and other, or sorry, like supermarkets who are really trying to do it even more easy to like have tracking, and you take something out, it's already booked on your wallet. So I mean, the future, payment is not going away. This is the thing in the future, and there will be more and more options coming up. I think also this is the future. We have Alipay, we have WeChat Pay, all these new models coming up, and it depends on what region you are, what payment solution will be big. Now I see even like Alipay, WeChat is even going to Europe and expanding all over the world. So obviously they have an angle. There's more and more Chinese tourists in this case coming and paying everywhere. But still, if you look at the market, there are big differences. So non-cash payments in Asia, it's growing way faster than in any other region in the world. Obviously there is a tendency for a growing share of non-cash payments. And we're here to talk about crypto and what you can do to make it more attractive, like in terms of marketing. In my perspective, crypto is just one other option of payment, and there is no reason why a shop should not say no, or actually the reason why a shop or a merchant should say yes, I want to have crypto payments, is very simple, because they can have additional customers. They might have additional customers who want to pay in crypto, who want to stay anonymous, who whatever, right? But we have to provide them solutions, and we have to provide them solutions in a way that they have to deal with crypto as less as possible or as little as possible. We have to give them solutions where they can cash out in fiat currency, do their taxes. Obviously now in the States, it's going to be very expensive if you do that. If you're in Singapore, it's going to be a little more difficult than when you're in the European Union, because there's so many payment providers. So it depends on the industry, it depends on the country. But at the end of the day, we want to provide cool value to customers. And if we can cut down the costs of a payment at the same time, this is a great proposition to the merchant. And it will be a great proposition to the customer if it's more easy, if it's cheaper, if it's faster, or if it just happens in the background and they don't have to care about it.
Guys, if you study the history of monetary system, you'll notice that it changes every 50 years, right? We started from like using stones back then to, you know, this yellow stone. Let's go to the gold standard. It started in 1717, and the wide adoption was in 1819. That was when the British was the world superpower, right? But then we had the Great Depression came around in 1929. Then we changed to a new system called the Bretton Woods system in 1945. That's the arrival of World Bank and IMF, right? But after the Bretton Woods system, the US printed more money than gold backing its US dollars. Then we came up with another new payment system called the post-Bretton Woods system in 1971, right? The US pretty much said, I can print unlimited amount of money, no gold backing anymore. Please trust in this paper, right? After 1971. Then we have the new system called Fiat currency. Then there's a crisis in 2008. Then blockchain application came out in 2009. A quick history there, you notice two trends. The first one is that monetary system of the world changes every 50 years. 1929, 1945, 1971, right? And if the statistics is correct, by 2021, it's going to be exactly 50 years. So that's going to be the arrival of Libra and digital yuan coming up on the digital currency trend. I think the timing is very important here in terms of digital currency adoption. Currently, we are using cryptocurrency as a back-end technology. People don't really need to know that they're using cryptocurrency. Just like what you guys are using Skype or Line to call each other for free, most people don't really know that they're using TCP/IP to connect to each other with the first generation of the internet, right? So in this current period, most of the merchants or people don't really need to know that they're using cryptocurrency because of the high volatility. There'll be companies on the front-end customer-facing part doing all the hedging. Customers only need to know that let's use this app to get money across cheaply, for free, instantly. That's all they need to know. Just like all you need to know when you're using Skype. But when the user base is getting bigger and bigger, this is the basic of finance, right? The volatility drops when the user base is getting bigger and bigger. And the main blockchain, public blockchain is going to be stabilized. Then that's when the cryptocurrency is going to hit mainstream. Or if Libra or digital yuan can come around, regulations, that's when cryptocurrency is going to hit mass adoption. Because it's going to fill in so many different gaps that traditional banks cannot do, such as micropayments. We cannot get around $1 across to different country because the fees is already much higher, right? Or the unbanked, or even the foreigners here in Thailand, they cannot create a bank account. There'll be companies like us acting as a layer on top, using cryptocurrency. They can store their wealth as in stable coin, USDT, but they can get access to traditional finances via a crypto debit card or cardless ATM here, without the need of creating a bank account. I think the timing is very important in terms of payment adoption.
It's interesting that you bring up history in regards to the change and the cycles every 50 years. So if that be the case, when the US got off the gold standard and said, hey, this is my money, trust in me. So what do you think, because cryptocurrency is in the US government, right? So what are the top 3 obstacles do you think it needs to overcome in the next 12 months, 24, 48 months in order to become more mainstream?
I think it's adoption. If you look at cryptocurrency as per se, it all started off with retailers. You don't see enterprises, you don't see institutions coming in because institutions are more used to securities, and they have a complete framework out there. So you have cap tables, you have actual processes in place like custody solutions. Whereas with cryptos per se, the infrastructure is not yet there. So once the infrastructure is ready, I think the adoption will take place. And I see the adoption will be more towards security tokens more than utility tokens because it's more regulated, it's more compliant. So I think 2020 will be the year for STOs, I think.
For me, you have to separate into two applications. If you're using crypto as a transactional protocol on the back end, I can say that it's already happening. Last 2 weeks, the Purple Bank in Thailand is already using Ripple to transfer money on the back end from Thailand to the UK within 30 seconds and zero cost. It is already happening. And the Yellow Bank, I was on the conference with them yesterday. They already implemented this between Thailand and Laos, money transfer with the Ripple blockchain. So it's already happening on the back end. The banks are moving very, very fast here in Thailand, or even the Bank of Thailand. They're working with Corda R3 to use the blockchain for the interbank transaction. It's on the back end, happening already. But if you're asking about the front end, customer-facing part in terms of cryptocurrency, then this is retail money that we're talking about, right? So what Libra would have to overcome is obviously the regulations and the lobbying of the current existing incumbents, because the US is the only country that can print unlimited amount of money after 1971, right? Obviously, they have the biggest to lose. And in economics, there is a thing called Sinaraj money. Especially, this is working is another way for the government to tax their citizens. especially very important for the developing countries when you cannot collect the tax 100%. And, when you're taxing people, that's a direct way to get money from the citizen, right? But there's an indirect way that the government can tax people. We are printing money and rent it out to retail banks. We call it Siniraj. And if, in the future, these tech companies can create digital currencies themselves, retail money themselves, the Siniraj revenue would be reducing, and the government is obviously the one to lose, right? So you have to overcome that in terms of opportunity cost. But I think, right now we're in the current period where the US government and the Chinese are fighting to be the world's next power. And they're also fighting on the current currency war. And obviously China is pushing ahead with the digital yuan, right? People's Public Bank of China already filed 52 patents for its digital currency. So I think after the launch of digital yuan by early next year, I think the US would they would not allow Chinese to lead the innovation in the space. They might have to bring back the discussion. And even the Bank of Thailand, they came to our office 3 weeks ago. Right now, the Bank of Thailand has their digital currency team, consists of 10 people. They came to our office and asked for our advice if the Bank of Thailand should issue their own central bank digital currency, which is retail, right? So there's a lot of questions. If the central banks are issuing retail money, what are the use of commercial banks? Because right now the central banks are actually issuing digital currency, but in commercial terms, because they rent it out to commercial banks. They are the one that are distributing to retail players. But in the future, if central bank can issue their own retail money, what are the use of commercial banks? It's like the biggest obstacle is to overcome these opportunity costs and existing players that have stake to lose.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. That was very insightful. But I just want to come before Felix has something to say, because he has a very good solution representing Dash. Now, I want to ask the people in the audience, how many of you have cryptocurrencies? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, so that's about half.
Yeah.
Okay, so you spoke about what's going to be the hurdles in the future. Okay, well, first and foremost is educating people. Right, so now we're living in a debilitating society where everything has to be pre-masticated, right? So if it's not easy, people don't go for it, right? So for those of you that already made, the whole entire self-education of acquiring cryptos and trading it and using it, good for you. The rest, you have a lot of catch-up to do, and if you haven't done it yet, then you're expecting a very big institution to do it for you, right? So you're already giving away, the promise that crypto was offering you, which was to be decentralized, okay, to take control of your own finances. You chose not to. Now you're expecting big corporation to do it for you, all right? So the promise is no longer there. Now, I think educating our children, our younger generation, which they feel already desensitized, okay, by the banks, by the financial system. This is the first thing that we should be doing. Okay, we should be the ambassadors of this movement. How are we going to do this? Well, I'm here to preach my church. Okay, my church was, of course, decentralization. Of course, it was, this great world where everybody, is empowered to do whatever they want, the way they want, when they want. Now, how the reality is going to pan out? Well, the fact is, we have to, inform ourselves better. Now, I'd like to come to what Felix is doing with Dash. Now, this is a very good use case where, they're going merchant by merchant, they educate the merchant, and they educate the community, and step by step, they get the people on into crypto, okay? The way they're doing it, it's the right way, all right? So it's by, evangelizing, prophetizing, and showing that the reality is here. Now, it's up to you to choose which one is the protocol that you want, the crypto that you want, and what you want, all right? The banks have already failed us once, actually several times. So I don't know why we should give them another shot at this, all right? So really, it's really up to you. I would have wished like everybody would have raised their hand when I asked who has cryptos. So get on it, inform yourself, If you want everything to be prognosticated, that you know what, then step in the line. But if you want to be, the architect of change and innovation, that on your own terms, educate yourself and jump on this bandwagon, because this industry is going to blow the fuck up, really. But we need to be informed, and we need to make informed decisions. So I think these are going to be the challenges in the near future.
But did you want to add to that, Felix?
Yeah, thank you for the compliments, first of all, Alexis. Yeah, and it's true. We're doing a lot of crypto adoption, and we see a lot of development and different things in the market. First, to your point of education. Yeah, it's one option. Always, I think every company who has to re-educate or first educate their customer kind of have a bad stance. And obviously, you're way better off running a company where stuff is self-explaining. So honestly, this is what we try to do. One more thing before. Obviously, you brought up Libra, you brought up governments. It's a very, very interesting point, because there's definitely difference to be made on back end and money transfers within the banking system and between governments and banks, and governments who are issuing banks, right? What is happening now is that we have three things. We have one, the government money. That's what we all used to. Now we have things like Libra coming up, is essentially like corporate money, which is also, we have seen that in the 18th century before. So we will see how that turns out. I'm not so sure if it will come so fast. Now governments also making their own digital money, and we have now people like us who are just some nerds printing money in the internet. And what is that money? It's nothing. It's like all money. It's just something you pay for it, right? Or something in relation to something else. So what we can see is there's a growing number of crypto users. Most of them right now come into this market because they want to get richer by investing into something, so they want to trade. And what we realize is that a subset of these people come out and will buy a cheeseburger, will buy a travel, or is so rich suddenly that they have to stay anonymous and really even pay an extra price to stay anonymous, right? And to stay out of governments, to stay out of sight. So it's a very complex issue. I come more and more to the realization to say, hey, what is money, right? To give you an example, I'm German, I live in Bangkok, and we earn in different currencies. Let's say we earn something in crypto, right? So what is my reference for going out and say, hey, like I buy some pad thai on the street, it cost me 100 baht, but is like, what is my personal reference? Is it euro? Because actually I still think in euro, to be honest, and if like a pad thai is 10 euros, it's like a damn expensive pad thai on the street, right? So, but, and also my other reference is Dash, and Dash price is going up and down by the day, so it's kind of a stupid reference to have, right? The point being is it's a matter of education, cultural background, and one very, very important thing is what you earn, right? And I strongly believe the more we have options and people, and this is for me really the big evolution of blockchain, or the big use case of blockchain, is not trust, is not everything. It's like the future of work. It's the future of collaboration. It's the possibility to come together and earn in crypto. Give you two other examples. You're an Indian guy who is a developer, right? Now you can participate in these central organizations that pay you in Bitcoin, that pay you in Ether, that pay you in Dash, right? And this is the damn revolution we are right now in, right? You're an African guy, you run a web shop. Nobody will order something from you if you're in Senegal and run a web shop. The banks will not even give you the money, because no bank from Europe will like make this easy transfer, right? So now you can pay it in Bitcoin, and probably you have another option. So we will, I hope, this is my perspective, yeah, Libra and all, it's like whatever. But my big hope is that people now are able to invent better organizations that give better incentives to people by earning crypto in a decentralized way, no matter where you're from, no matter what country you're in. It's about like creating new value propositions. And this is, from me, the big hope, or we are working on that, to create really solutions and options for people to participate in something. Just look at the freelancers, the growing number of freelancers, and the growing numbers of digital nomads here in Thailand. It's just, there is a evolution in how people work, how people collaborate, and we provide the infrastructure, hopefully, to do that, and create already the use case with Dash and other cryptocurrencies to see, hey, we can solve the chicken and egg problem, because for now we didn't have merchants, we didn't have people who have crypto and want to spend it. So you have to start somewhere, and if you talk marketing, obviously you always have to switch a little bit the side of things. I mean, now we have, for example, 5 hotel platforms in the portfolio. It's almost like 4.5, 4.6 million hotels, 600 airlines. And when you book in Dash now, you can get a discount of 5 to 40% compared to Booking.com. So that's an incentive for a user to do it, right? And most probably we have to do a better job in getting the message out. But yeah, then there we come to marketing, and this is something we could do.
Yeah, I just got a 5-minute note from the event organizer. I just have one last thing. It's based on what Topp said, because there's two aspects of it, right? There's one side that's the retail, and then there's the back-end side, which is B2B, G2G, G2B, B2G. So because the retail, the mass adoption could take much, much longer, because you're talking moving millions and millions of people, or billions, right? What are we, 7-point-some billion people on this earth? Is it better to be more focused on the G2G and B2B end first, to get that momentum going before pushing out? What are your thoughts or take on this comment? Oh, I'm sorry. Oops, went inside my shirt. Okay, let me start again. I was going back to what Topp said earlier, which is in regards to momentum being built on G2G or B2G or G2B first, versus going retail, because on the retail side, you just have to, it's such a massive process to educate. So it may just be easier to start from the other end. So I just thought I'd throw that out for some comments or.
Okay, yeah, so.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So, no, it's fine. So we just got back from Malta Blockchain Summit, as well as the Malta Gaming Summit. I was there with Herbert Sim, our advisor, who will be joining later on the panel. And this is what we learned. We learned a lot of Forex and gaming companies, as well as cryptocurrency service providers, like exchanges. But I'll talk more about Forex and gaming. They are, from the front end, of course, they want to increase their user base. So, of course, they want to get crypto users to onboard their platform, so that they increase their user base. But on the back end now, we're noticing a lot of crypto gaming, which means they're using blockchain. Now, why is that? Because if you look from an affiliate marketing point of view, in the last 10 years, look at all the affiliate marketers. Why have they left their network when they started off with company A and they left that company? Is because at some point in time they realized that they are not getting paid for the job that they are doing. So there was no transparency. So we are noticing that a lot of affiliate marketers are now moving on to blockchain-based platforms, so that they know that the work that they are putting in, they will get rewarded. And so is the case with gaming. A lot of gamers who are now online, they somehow don't believe the service provider. But if it's blockchain-based, they feel that it's more reliable and can be trusted. So I think, like what he mentioned, it's about on the back end. Yes, we see platforms, corporates, enterprises, and institutions using blockchain. But on the front end, cryptocurrencies is used more from acquiring users, more so than as a payment system for enterprises and institutions. The private companies and retailers are still using them, but I think it's still the top 2 or 3 cryptos, and I'm quite excited to know that Dash offers 5 to 40% discount. I should start using that. Felix, thanks for that. Yes.
Raising tide moves all ship, right? So what was the raising tide? The raising tide was the people. Okay, so the people wanted it before the system, the organization, the businesses. So if it wasn't for the people, the banks and the big institution would have never looked at this. Okay, so
they
really,
stand to lose.
sorry?
Because they stand to lose, there's opportunity.
Well, yeah, exactly. So they see that the people really wanted it. Okay, so they pay attention. So we are the tide, we the people. So of course it's the people, and of course, well, now we expect that institution, organization, and governments are listening to this, and they are doing the right job on the back end. Okay, but we are the one that's going to make the movement. Okay, you have governments that are failing, across the globe. Look at Argentina, for instance. Money that cannot be, controlled. I mean, we talk about 70 million people. All of a sudden, are going to be like out of the money. Well, they're going to have to find a solution to that, right? So they are moving the moving tide. So let's hope that organization, governments are going to do the right job, and they're going to be honest about this. We are waiting. Okay, we're waiting, but we're still moving along. Okay, if they want to join us, then yeah, welcome. Otherwise, we are the people, we are the force. Okay, we came first.
For me, it's actually very simple. B2B, B2C, C2C. It's about like having something simple and having something people can relate to. Again, if you have to educate people and if it's like super complicated to do something, most probably you will not do something. What we have realized is, like, in terms of going out and really connecting any crypto payments to anything, it's way more easy. If any one of you, please join our merchant network, just try it out, get some Dash on your telephone, get a nice meal, and you pay with it, you have suddenly a completely different emotional relation to it, because you realize, hey, it's super simple. It's like giving someone 100 baht to pay for something. And the same goes if you connect platforms. You just prove the point by saying, hey, now I should book in Dash, right? The moment we had the first hotel platform, the next ones were so much easier to get, right? So it's really about creating use cases and something people can relate to. The same goes also for B2B or enterprise to enterprise money transfers, and this is, in terms of affiliate marketing, exactly the kind of, let's say, influencers you need to have and the cool use cases you have to have. The moment you have them and the moment you can go out them, it's way more, your sales pitch is becoming way more easy, and the adoption will be way faster. So if we have to get out of our nerd bubble, and because nobody cares crypto who's not in crypto, and nobody wants to have all that complicated stuff, and nobody wants to deal with their private keys and lose their money and all that crap, It's like, give people solution, ideas, examples they can relate to, and there we go.
For me, I think we misunderstood the idea. It's not about B2B, B2G, or B2C. It's whether we should humanize the process. Humanize meaning that you hide all the complicated stuff. People just need to know that let's use this app to get money across cheaply, freely, instantly, without knowing that the backend is blockchain or cryptocurrency. Just like now, we are using email without knowing that we are using SMTP protocol, right? Or using Facebook or Skype without knowing TCP/IP protocol. This is what we call the humanization process. And the timing is very important. In the early stage, humanization will come first, because there'll be company like, I want you guys to remember one word, social banking. It's definitely coming with the arrival of WeChat, Facebook, right? And social banking will overtake mobile banking, because with one app, you can book doctor appointments, call taxi, send money, chat to each other. So social banking is coming very fast. It took China 5 years to digitize 2 billion people cashless, right? And WeChat, Alipay are the biggest banks in China within 5 years. Alipay was founded in 2014, right? 5 years. So with these companies, with already a lot of users, right? They will humanize cryptocurrency to allow micropayments to happen. So, for example, Ripple, they're launching RippleNet, and they only select a few exchanges around the world to connect to the RippleNet. Think of RippleNet as a Swift 2.0 network, right? For example, very soon, early next year, retail users can use Bitkub exchange to remit money at an order of magnitude cheaper than current system, 0.5% fee instead of 5% fee, money transfer. Do they need to know that they're using Ripple? No. They just said, let's use this app to get money across cheaply. This is when we humanize the process. But in the long run, when digital currency is stabilized, then it's becoming front-end customer-facing parts. People can use cryptocurrency directly. And this, technology follows the same trends, just like the internet. When the internet first arrived, people did not use internet. They were scared. Don't go anywhere near it. Let's use intranet, right? And put firewall in everywhere. This was the first generation of companies. Even the government supported intranet, not internet, because it's permissionless environments. You cannot control. There is no editorial control, right? But the next generation that really, of companies that really changed the world came from the internet space and open, permissionless environments. Within the blockchain, we see the same trend. Governments are supporting, private blockchain right now. Right? Government-created digital currencies, they are coming, right? And we humanize all these processes on the back end using the intranet version of the blockchain, right? Private blockchain. But in the long, long run, we will be using public blockchain more in an open, permissionless manner. Just like the internet, we will follow the same trend. And people can develop applications on top. And in an open environment, it's like in DNA mutations. The strongest gene will be the winner in the long run, right? With the best products. So I think it's just to differentiate. The timing is very important.
Yeah, I agree with you about the humanizing, because there's just going to be people that will not care. They just want to know, does it work? Right? Like I pick up my phone, whether I use Line, WhatsApp, or WeChat, or Skype. I just want to know I can call my husband or my children and make sure that I can give instructions or set an appointment, so on and so forth. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed this discussion. If you want to continue this, you can meet these gentlemen out in the foyer. I think we have another speaker coming by.
We actually having a coffee break. Haven't served outside, so won't keep you waiting more. Let's give a round of applause to our amazing speakers on this panel.
Thanks, everyone.